Okay, hello everyone and welcome to the start of another randomised gaming stream. Tonight is Tuesday the 30th of June, so it's the last day of June. Tomorrow is the first day of July, and I'm your host as always for these randomised gaming videos, or the live streams, Random Gamer Riven. And in today's live stream we are going to be looking at Norse by Norsewest, which is the Lost Vikings 2. A couple of names. I think it's like called the Lost Vikings 2, like something on the SNES. There's a couple of slightly different names, right? The Saturn one is Lost Vikings 2 North by Norsewest, but there's Norse by Norsewest, but there's a slight word play around of how they do it depending on which version you've got. So this was originally released on the Super Nintendo. This is one of the last games technically developed by Silicon and Synapses Inc. before they changed their name, as they're actually credited as Silicon and Synapses Inc. on the back of this one, so obviously they hadn't yet changed their names. And when I mean change their names, they changed their names of course to Blizzard Entertainment. So yes, this is a Blizzard Entertainment game, although Blizzard did not do any of the Saturn 32-bit era versions. They only did the original SNES version, I believe. These versions were all ported, or they were published by Interplay, and they were ported by Beam Software. And the original SNES version used the original SNES graphics, similar to the first game. These 32-bit versions, so the PlayStation, the PC, and the Sega Saturn version, all used enhanced visuals that was basically 3D rendered visuals, or pre-rendered. You see the action 1B, action 2C, activate is A, use item is X, inventory is Z, select Vikings L and R. Two-player mode, one player, two player. That's very nice. Demo. Is this a tutorial, or have I just clicked on a? Just a running attract demo. Okay. So this Sega Saturn version, as you can see, was pre-rendered visuals. It was released in 1997, and basically, as I mentioned just now, it was basically a pre-rendered visuals based on the original 2D sprite stuff. Some people may prefer the 2D sprite stuff. I think it's probably aged slightly better. So I'm not going to say any more. I'm going to start a new game, and I will let the intro roll out as it's all voiced over. And so away we go with the start of the game.
After their narrow escape from the evil Tomator, Eric the Swift, Olaf the Stout, and Baleog the Fierce lived joyous and fruitful Viking lives. Then, one day, while returning home from a fishing trip...
Are we there yet? I'm hungry.
Should have thought about that before we left.
Yes, you've eaten 3 times today and the sun hasn't even come up.
Well, no wonder I'm hungry.
So, I finally caught up with the mighty Vikings again. Well, I'll show them.
Guys, let me guess. You've got a bad feeling about this.
Welcome back, pathetic losers. This time, you will experience the full wrath of the mighty Tomator. God, take them to the time-space modulation thingy and transport them to the arena.
Yes, Tomator. Prisoners, you will follow me.
And some more. Oh no, not another system failure!
Prisoners,
Get it!
We grabbed some cool stuff from that robot. I wonder what it does.
No time to find out now. We need to get out of here.
Oh, look. A big shiny thingy. And there's a sign on it. It says Done Us.
Olaf, no! Okay. Where are we?
The sign said do not touch, not donuts.
What's a donut?
I think I smell something brewing over there.
Does that gut of yours ever quit?
This is definitely not our ship. It's time to find a way home.
Okay, here we go with the start of the game, and as you may have heard there are some very well-known voice actors in this. To be exact, you have voices include Jeff Bennett, Rob Paulson, I believe that was the original Raphael from Turtles, Tress MacNeille, who's done countless Family Guy and Futurama. I think she's the Futurama, Simpsons, and a few other bits and bobs. Frank Welker, Katie Soyce, and Jim Cummings. Jim Cummings is the voice of numerous characters from the Winnie the Pooh and various other things. He's a very veteran actor. So they've got some real veteran voice casts in this. And I'll just begin the game and go. The one difference between this and the Super Nintendo one is you actually have to listen to voice acting.
Press A to talk to people, or read hints like this one.
With just about all the dialogue, so here goes.
We're looking for the big, shiny metal thingy that brought us here.
Well, I know a spell that could send you there, but all three of you would have to be here at once.
Press L or R to switch characters.
So the announcer's actually Jim Cummings. I believe he's also Olaf as well. This one.
Aye, you have donuts.
What's a donut? Maybe you should get your friends over here to explain what it is you want.
Press L or R to switch characters.
I think the witch is Tress MacNeille because she sounds just like the grandma from Futurama, the evil grandma corporation head. And Paul Robson, I think, is Eric.
We're looking for the big shiny metal thing that brought us here.
Well, I know a spell that could send you there, but all three of you would have to be here at once.
Press L or R to switch characters.
Can you take us to the big, shiny metal thing that brought us here?
Well, I know a spell that could send you there. The spell has limited range, so if it doesn't take you all the way there, I'll meet you at the nearest cauldron, and we can try again. But I'll need a Cyclops' eyeball, vampire bat wing, and a Noirambrapus mushroom to cast the spell again.
Okay, sounds good. Let's go.
First, yes, good guys. Eric the Swiss is definitely voiced by Paul Robson. I think Olaf the Stout is also voiced by Jim Cummings. I'm not too sure which one of them voices Bolog the Fierce. There are two new characters in this one, in that we also have... So the original game just featured 3 Vikings. In this one you also get Fang the Werewolf and Scorch the Dragon. Very appropriately named characters.
Baliog stole the guard's energy saber. Press B to attack with it.
Now, each of the Vikings, if you've never played Lost Vikings before, has a preset series of abilities. This sequel adds in additional abilities, but Baliog, as you can see, can basically fight, so I'm going to need him to switch the monsters.
Olaf grabbed the guard's shield. Press B to block either up or down.
Now, the basic premise in the original Vikings is Olaf had his shield, so although it says he grabbed the shield, he had a shield originally. Baleog basically had the sword and was the only one that could attack. Basically what the aim is to get all 3 Vikings alive. So if you lose one, it's stage over. So you can see there I need to be very, very careful with the order I move them in. I have to get Olaf to move last.
Press B to jump Eric onto ledges or over obstacles.
Hence the name Eric the Swift, as he can jump. Now, whether some people would prefer the original 2D sprites graphics from the SNES version, it'd be interesting to see. This, I'll be honest, I don't think the CG renders in this are particularly very good. But the SNES version is the only one with the original sprite graphics.
Well, we brought the ingredients for the potion.
Yeah, are we going to have to do this every time?
Teleporting people ain't like dusting crops, boy. Without precise ingredients.
Look, we don't need a lecture. Just cast the spell, alright?
And a nice little Star Wars reference with that dusting crops nod.
Press C to use Baleog's bionic arm to nail monsters from long range.
So this is Baleog's new ability. In the original game he had a sword, but he did not have a bionic arm. So there we go. For monsters from range.
Olaf can glide like a majestic eagle by holding his shield over his head while falling. If you have the right colored key, you can unlock a keyhole by standing over it and pressing X. His titanium dwarfing shield allows Olaf to fit through small openings. Push down to activate it.
Is this another one new abilities for Lost Vikings 2? The fact you actually have the... I'll do that so he can come down. Oh yes, you can also... One of the abilities from the original game is that you can stand on the shield. Eric's got some boosting jump this time, which he didn't... Press the X button.
To jump higher, stand Eric on Olaf's shield. Then press B at the peak of Eric's jump to use his turbo boots.
In many ways this is a bit like Lemmings, but it's got much more control, and effectively you only have 3 Lemmings, each with their own set of unique abilities. Up we go, activating the... Ooh. So on Baleog and his magic punch. Cheers for the likes, guys. As always, if you enjoy our streams, please do hit that likes button. It's always nice to see we get some early likes in. So already I can see I'm going to need Olaf here. Basically, you've got to look ahead and anticipate what abilities you're going to need, so who needs to be where. And I actually need that one. I need to get Balog up before I can get...
To trade an item, press Z. Then press B over the item. To give the item to a nearby Viking, use the control pad. Press Z to exit.
So these first few levels really are the sort of tutorial stages, getting you into the feel of the game.
Okay, guys, here we are.
Gee, Eric, being here's a lot like being lost or something.
Hey, lady, why are you making stew?
How can you have such a big head and such a small brain, Olaf?
One thing I will say, the dialogue is superb, and I believe it's literally ripped from the original SNES version as well.
Press C while running to give Eric the speed to destroy some walls.
So yeah, that was another ability from the original, but you didn't get the turbo.
Stand on an elevator and push up or down to control it. If you have too much stuff, trash some of it. Trade the unwanted item to the trash can.
The one thing I will say is the actual inventory system is a little bit clumsy. It could have been a lot less convoluted than what it needed to be. I'll just move Olog out of the way.
Have Baleog punch targets by pressing C and a direction. Use his turbo boots while Eric is jumping up to destroy some ceilings. Baleog's bionic arm lets him grab objects the others can't reach. Press C and a direction.
Not quite sure really what the point of trash items is. It just seems a bit of a way. Okay, we need Olaf. Second there, I did wonder if that might crush them when I brought the lift down, but...
I'm starting to become attached to you guys. Maybe we should all stay here together.
Don't make me sick.
What?
No. Let me help here. What Baliog meant was, we're really homesick. Isn't that right, Baliog?
Oh.
So as you can see, it is very much a pretty straightforward puzzle game. It's actually a really nice title, Lost Vikings. It's a shame Blizzard never did a third one. They did the first one, which was ported to a huge number of sort of consoles and systems. So it made like the SNES, Mega Drive. I think it was on the Mega Drive. It was definitely on the Amiga and quite the Amiga CD32 and quite a few others. And then they did the sequel. The sequel was released on the SNES as well. I think primarily it was a SNES game, and then it was ported to the 32-bit systems. But the sequel seemed to basically be the last game and seemed to have a lot less of a following. It's a shame. I think Blizzard could do with a few more titles like this now. I won't be the first to say that I think Blizzard's quality has dipped in recent years. In fact, this was probably when they were sort of at their peak making games. I think it's a shame there hasn't been any more Lost Vikings, because they were quite good fun games, and it's just nice to see alternative titles from developers like Blizzard. I get a bit sick of just seeing Warcraft this, Warcraft that these days, and Warcraft's kind of really fallen off the wagon, so to speak.
Eric's Smash-O-Gill helmet lets him breathe underwater. Press B and a direction to swim faster.
Okay, so here we go, the swimming, Eric Smash. Yeah, I can't remember if they could swim in the original. Basically, each Viking has their own ability, so if one Viking gets killed, you effectively have to restart the stage. I think some stages, I think this one might have had a revive system. The original game had quite an aggravating system when they died, where it was quite a bit of a time-consuming thing to sort of go back and restart.
Press A to operate stuff like buttons and switches. Baliog can swing by grabbing a jewel with his bionic arm. Press C to grab or release the jewel. The powerful gas of Olaf also enables him to smash soft floors.
Yes, the powerful gas.
Olaf's gas allows him an aerial boost. Press C while falling. If you search carefully, you may find extra items in hidden places.
I'm guessing that's telling me there are hidden items. Is there something hidden here? Just Lost Vikings is definitely a game that doesn't take it very serious. Hello, Nicodian R. I should always get people's names right. Thanks for joining the stream. I hope you're enjoying a bit of Lost Vikings too. Just let me know if the volume's at the right level. I do know sometimes the volume's a bit hit and miss occasionally when I'm doing stuff. So, but yes, nice to see you guys joining us on the stream as always. Very much appreciated. So yes, with the powerful Olog and his rather dangerous gas. So perfect fall there. I wasn't too sure what to stream today, and I was just looking. I was debating whether to do Blood Angel, Space Hulk, Vengeance of the Blood Angels. And then I thought, well, actually, no, I'll do this, but I might do Space Hulk tomorrow. We are open to suggestions for streaming suggestions if anyone's got any. We will be, as I mentioned, we're sort of open-minded this week. If you've got any suggestions for streaming. Now, do I need to? Yeah, my pronunciation. I would Nico. I would, for me, pronunciation would be Nicoden. Ah. Okay, Nico. I'll just call you Nico. Nicoden. I think. Yeah, my pronunciation is terrible. A lot of stuff. Not sure quite why they need trash in this game. It just seems a waste of a way to fill up your menu. Okay, I got that. I should say I'm playing the power conversion, but I'm forcing it into 60 Hz, so it's all nice and smooth. A lot of the US games were not optimized in the slightest. I think the music's quite good, although whether people might prefer the original games or the original SNES versions. As I mentioned, Blizzard only did the SNES version, I believe. This 32-bit enhancement version was done by... Eric's got the short. I do think the inventory system could be a touch better in this. It just feels a little bit clunky. I believe there's like a witch in every sort of world, so, and there are different characters, so you get, as I mentioned, there are 5 different characters in this one.
This smells like the wing of a fruit bat. Are you sure this is a vampire bat wing?
Of course it's a vampire bat wing. What do you think they are, stupid?
Have it your way.
Eric? Hey, where's Eric?
Meatball! Like I know the difference between a vampire bat and a fruit bat.
Okay, my TV just slightly pitched out on there a second, so hopefully that won't affect the stream. seem to be an issue with the TV only. Might be because of the light colours. Okay, now I think. So yes, we have lost Eric. I think this may be where we get one of the new characters.
Get us home.
If you can get me out of here, I will.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to try and. Yes, there we go. So.
Our very own deer.
I'm a wolf, right, boy? My name is Fang.
Fang's vicious claws are a major threat to monsters. Press C. Fang has the powerful limbs of a wild canine. Press B to make him jump.
So you see that each of the characters have their slightly different abilities. Fang can of course climb. I think he was mainly... You had the dragon who can fly, but basically I think Fang largely is used as a replacement for Balog in a lot of stages, I seem to recall. You do tend to lose the Vikings as the story progresses, so basically you get teleported. You will find you will not have all of them across all the stages this time around.
Fang can cling to walls by jumping onto them, and jump off of them by pressing B.
So just be careful you don't lose a character. Because I believe it's pretty much game over if you lose a character and you're going to restart the stages. So things have to climb up and lower that down. Just make sure Olag is the front guy, so that way when I raise the platform, I'll suddenly get...
Yes, I am coming too.
Let's go already.
You need to be taught some manners, jerky.
And guess what's going to happen to Baleog in this next one? Sure enough, as I mentioned...
Eric, where you been?
Polar ice caps.
Well, I guess that's where Baleog is. Well, we've still got Fang. He attacks and jumps.
A jumping ferret, eh?
Quit badgering me.
I don't think he can bear much more of this.
Hey, I heard you nerds are looking for a time machine. Even if you find it, it won't work.
Oh yeah? Why not?
Because, dummy, it spit out parts all over the place.
Yes, there's definitely a very venerable voice cast in this. So it's time for Eric to do his watery stuff again. Oh yes, there's one of the parts of the time machine. So there are different time zones in this, but interesting to see how far I get through. Back of the box there's about 32 levels, I think. 31 levels of mind-bending play. So be careful there, Olaf. Our thing can jump up there.
Smart bombs will give the monsters a nice surprise. Press X.
Yes, obviously, because Thang's limited range is a bit... Oh yes, he can bite as well. That was actually the better attack, as I remember. I'll look there because I think he's going to be needed to stop that when we open the door. So I don't know how many of you played the Lost Vikings before and interested what you think. Certainly it's interesting to think Wizard made games like this back in... Blizzard made games like this back in the day. They certainly don't make games like this anymore, as old saying goes. Yes, and I don't want to fall too far, so I better be a bit careful now because a couple of them are taking a bit too much damage. That's what I mean by being careful about making sure you change the right characters. And that's one of those messy bits where you have to get everything right, and I just didn't switch to the right characters quick enough. Yes, retry level. I think she revised them now. Okay, that's a bit annoying. There's one or two sections like that. I can't remember if Eric could ram enemies. And I must remember, full damage is not good. Oh, that's food, that weird black white. I was going to say, I couldn't quite work out what it is. It looks like a garlic or something, so... Great. Alright. Oh yes, he can ram enemies. That's what I slightly mean about some of these levels can be a little bit annoying with a few of the mechanics. I'll just see if Eric could ram the brass. Yes, we know. Revive, yes. And this is actually unskippable and rather annoying. So yeah, I should probably just ram the enemies, because Eric's actually better at ramming. The wolves actually, if I press C, there's actually quite a wind up before the attack frame comes out, which is what's quite irritating with him. I'm lucky. Silly me who forgot to press the switch. I think we should also defer to the item because there's not really that many items in the inventory, so there's no reason why it can't just auto. Let's get this right this time. I don't really want to be doing a fourth. But yeah, definitely Baleog is the best fighter of all the... Yeah, so Eric can actually ram them, although he has a cooldown. Cooldown time on the ram itself.
Where have you been?
That witch sent me to the pit of despair to teach me a lesson.
Will you help us put the time machine back together?
After what I've been through, I'm gonna stay right here until we leave. I don't want to risk getting stuck here with Miss Manners.
Here's that time machine we've been looking for. Now, how do we make it work?
This unit needs a flush capacitor, a nuclear fuel cartridge, and a metal doohickey.
Okay, Mr. Thingy. Listen, we want to go back to our village. Okay?
It seems like we've been here in the dark for ages.
Initiating sequence 212 to Dark Ages 700 AD. Maximum capacity 3. Excess matter retargeted.
And yes,
I can't believe I lost those little dirtbags. Now I've got to chase these idiots through time. I'm going to make them pay for this.
Now where are we? And where's that goat?
I don't know. Looks like Fang got sent somewhere else. Boy, that machine's not very helpful, is it?
So here we are in the Dark Ages. As it calls it, although to be honest the game has quite a dark setting, which is a bit in contrast to the original sort of slightly more brighter Lost Vikings, sort of the SNES art style. Here we go, the medieval knights.
I am the sorceress Karen. Is there any way I can repay you for saving me?
Yeah, they're looking for this machine. Can you help us?
Oh, you know, I could teleport you to it, but I'd need a dragon's egg and a magic wand and a spell scroll.
We'll find those things and bring them to you.
So once again we have another humorous sort of basically you get the witches, sorceresses. I can't remember what the other ones are. Now I have a feeling I need to be Eric at this bit. Here we go. Ooh. I mean, we need to be Olaf. Eric, I think, would struggle with that. And hey guys, I see we've got quite a few on the stream. As always, if you do enjoy our streams, please, and you like it, please do hit the like button. Much appreciated. If you want to see more of our content as well, it's always nice to know what you guys are liking and what you guys aren't liking as well on the channel. Okay, so we've got some meat there. Oh. That's what I think about the cod. So it brings up the prompt. I'll just do the unfortunate thing and regen my guy. Yes, we want to try again. Going to start at that stage. As you can see, the difficulty does ramp up with these puzzle stages, so you do need to start planning ahead with a lot of the stages. It's a good idea to, you really have to pay attention on a few of them, as you saw with that earlier one where I was having to make sure I had Olaf with the shield, and then if Eric quickly whacked the enemies. Oh, it's Karen, isn't she? Said her name was Sorceress Karen. I believe Scorch the Dragon is... Oh! And that's what's slightly annoying. It can't just reach. Alright, so if she just quickly revives the Valhalla Angel, just revives the one. It's somewhat confusing. It should just say restart the level rather than having the option quit. Not perhaps the best. Oh! That's really irritating. Yes, we know. Quick, yes. It's a pleasant enough game. I think it would be nice. Certainly, I think you could do some really nice ideas in now. It's a shame Blizzard, as I mentioned, didn't really carry on the series after this. Alright, I'm going to do this one nice, slow but steady this time. Hello, Pamela, Milite, Katie, Mello. Thanks for joining the stream. Apologies, my Japanese isn't that good. I'll just say konnichiwa.
Yeah.
So just see if I should say Lost Vikings 2 was not released in Japan. I will actually write the Japanese, do a translation of the Japanese name. It was never, I don't believe it was officially released. I have to check. It might have been released on other formats, but it certainly didn't get a Saturn release in Japan. Ah, I should have probably made a picture. So... This is the thing with this one, you've got to... I'm assuming that's going to hit. And we've got some meat. So Eric can get across now. Okay, and there is the magic scroll. So you got to. There are some interesting bits. Oh yes, with how you got to think about the puzzle. So this one I've got to be quick because I'm going to flip down, and then straight away I need to make sure that, as you see there, you do have to think ahead with some of the sections. The game can be a bit merciless, as we saw a bit earlier with some of the bits. The music's not bad, it's all been redone for the CD. Some people may prefer the original Blizzard music, so I'm not sure how well this... how well this actually translates. I will add in a rough translation of the Japanese. My part for international diplomacy. Yes, thank you for joining us from wherever you are in the world. If you're in Japan, or we welcome people from all over the world. Which one of the things I saw when we did randomised gaming is it's nice to actually. No. Just to be a bit careful with some of the commands, like there. Oh, they can. Okay, so Eric's going to run at that. And then I'm going to need Baleog to fight his way. So again, shield up. Basically you want to get the shield guy up so the minute you take down the shield, you need to be a bit careful with each of the characters. You need to know which can evade and which can fight, because as you see, Baleog's basically the only one who can actually fight, so... I can just get Baleog to grab that. Yep. And get his arms, got the reach, so you can use Eric to grab that as well, but... I'm actually surprised this never got released in Japan, because this is the type of game the Japanese would have probably quite liked. And a lot of puzzle games did get released, and this is a sort of more quirkier puzzle game, so it's really surprising this one didn't get released in Japan. We've got the guys there, so we'll be on to the the next part of the medieval stage in a sec. And finally, Baleog.
Oh, one more thing. Before we go, I should mention we have a furry friend named Fang. If he's not already at the time machine, could you teleport him there?
Ooh, I'll try. You see, I've never actually cast a teleport spell before. Oops.
What?
Latu, Veratu, hurry you can!
And yes, you may have heard the Horyuken joke there right at the end. It's nice that they've got some nice little jokes with the sort of like, with some of the dialogue there. She says,
I know that spells aren't perfect, but this is ridiculous.
At least you've got me.
Well, if I have anything that needs to be eaten, I'll let you know.
Thanks.
The innocence of Olaf means he doesn't realise Eric is being sarcastic to him. I will say the lyric to music perhaps is a touch out of place in this. It's quite nice music, but it's perhaps not quite in keeping with the theme of the game. And there is our dragon buddy that we're going to be recruiting. Okay, that's quite nice. I was hoping we'd get the last character in the stream.
Chance seen a mean, ugly Viking with a big metal arm?
No, but if you can get me out of here, I promise to help you hunt him down. I am Scorch the Dragon, and I always keep my word.
Okay. Well, you could call me Olaf the Fantastic. Yeah, everyone else does.
Oh, really?
Now, I don't know about you, but I think there's a bit of a Sean Connery impression in that dragon. For those who don't know, Sean Connery did the voice of the dragon in a film called Braveheart. No, not Braveheart. A film called Dragonheart. Braveheart was a Mel Gibson biopic on William Wallace. Dragonheart. I think Dragonheart had Dennis Quaid in it tonight. I can't remember.
Press C and watch as Scorch unleashes hot fury.
I think Scorch can. Yeah, Scorch can also fly. One thing to make sure is always make sure you're happy where you've left your character so that they're in what is effectively a safe area. Admittedly, Scorch is just a recolour of the bad dragons, which is a little bit disappointing. I was wondering if they were running a bit low on memory. It'd be nice if it's a slightly more unique sprite.
Press B to make Scorch flap his leathery bat-like wings. The rune stone is magical. Press A to activate it, if you dare.
Yes, if we dare indeed. We'll just get... I'm going to need to teleport the two of them. Actually, good idea to always teleport a fighting character, although annoyingly... You do want to make sure when you move areas that basically you're not leaving a character in peril, so... Here's an interesting one. I need to... Oh, yes, I did smash that without, because I need to take... My dragon buddy's going to have to go down there first, because we have an enemy down there. Here's where things get interesting. Am I missing something? Because that to me looks like I've got a dead end there. Now, maybe perhaps the angle is I don't need to. Oh, I missed something with Scorch's flight ability. Oh, of course. Now that's a bit cheeky, that one. That's not clear at all. Now can I shoot? I don't know why, but I think the dragon's not going to be too good health if I run him. Fly through the water. Ah, that's what the bomb's for, isn't it? clear. I initially was wondering, thinking, well, how do I get to smash that? I didn't realise that one of the items I picked up was a bomb. There's nothing about that which would suggest for this level, perhaps originally Olaf was supposed to be the one to smash it. But they didn't quite get the right order. And finally, Eric.
Here are the items. Can you take us to Beliog?
Oh, please. I think I sent him to the Cliffs of Insanity.
In, fair lady. We go to the Cliffs of Insanity.
Klaatu, Valatu, Inconceivable!
Where's Olaf?
I guess it's finally his turn to get sent to some miserable place. Who's the green guy?
I am Scourge. Olaf asked me to help him hunt a mean and ugly Viking. And you, I presume?
Now look here, Scourge. Whatever Olaf said, no one's hunting anyone, savvy? Beliog is with us.
I see. Well, let's find Olaf. You see, I am honor-bound to follow his wishes.
Holding B down while falling allows Scorch to glide like a majestic Olaf.
Okay, that's the dragon egg. Check which door that's opened. You do have to be careful sometimes with what you change because you're never quite sure. I've got a wisdom, just see. Assume you have to go through the water. Okay, more bombs. So yeah, the bombs seem a bit weird. We've not actually had any tutorial about them either, which would suggest they were added in as they've changed some of the orders around of some of the characters. Some stages you'll find you'll tend to do the majority of it with one or two particular characters. Okay, so that's definitely, I'm guessing we need Olaf and Scorch to do their bit now. Maybe standing on some sort of trampoline that I assume I have to reactivate, but well, maybe I need one of the. Yeah, I'm almost certain by the looks of it, would take a guess that those bombs have been slightly added in because of changes to some of the character order. Know when you've injured these guys because they make that. Okay, I'm guessing that's what I need to. Eric out of the way and have Scorch deal with the wizard. Ah, that's what we have to do on this thing. And that's when that quick changes. You sometimes have to really be quick with the characters. And there we go. Okay. Now Scorch set up this section for... Okay, that's a bit weird. You can just walk over that even though it looks like it's... Again, do you think that's another bit they suddenly changed? There's a few bits that we haven't seen mentioned in the tutorial sections, and yet It's like, oh yeah, you can do this suddenly, like plant bombs, and I wonder if they made some changes. Should add most of those secret items I should have grabbed with Balog's powerful arm, but it doesn't matter now.
What did you do with Olaf? We need to find him so this green worm will leave me alone.
Ooh, well, you see, I accidentally sent him somewhere over the rainbow, and he's there now, and he's feasting, and he's too happy to teleport.
There is no justice.
Okay, this time, it'll work. Are you ready?
We're breathless.
Latu, Varatu, Lycanthropu!
Hiya, friends! How did you find me?
Now the sorceress must have messed up and done something right.
Yeah, I guess she brought me back from the Emerald City. You know, I asked the Munchkins to send me home, but they tried to give me some useless red slippers.
Emerald City, I think that's a Wizard of Oz reference. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to finish there. I think an hour and a half of Lost Vikings 2 North by Northwest. I think it's enough now. It's probably one of those games I should do a playthrough video. There are quite a few games I should actually do full-on playthroughs at some point. It is a very enjoyable game. I think it's probably certainly one of the Blizzard's more entertaining. It's as mentioned, this port was done by Beam Software, who updated the graphics from Blizzard's original SNES version. The original Lost Vikings got ported to GBA, but Lost Vikings 2 seems to have largely been forgotten, sadly. I don't think know if is it available on... No, I just need to check if it's actually available on... Steam or Good Old Games. No, I think it is still a Super Nintendo only. I think it's still it's basically not been re-released in a long time, Lost Vikings 2. There's a full-on playthrough, it's not actually that long. Probably one I should actually do a full playthrough video, it's only 2.5 hours. Well, I've just got to get used to the controls and memorise exactly what I do in every stage. It's not that hard a game, it's quite good fun. I think it certainly does test your brain, but it's not so taxing that it's... basically head-bangingly hard. It's one of those games that's sort of a good mix. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to finish now for today's stream. It's been quite a good one, but I want to finish a bit early tonight. So I will thank you all for this stream, for watching. Thanks everyone for watching as always. We've had quite a few viewers on this stream. Thank you as always for coming along and saying hi. Special thanks to Nico. And who do we have? Pamela, Militer, Katie, Melody. Thanks for joining the stream as always. Thanks, guys. I've been your host for this randomised gaming stream, Random Game Riven. I will be back tomorrow again to stream something else. I'm not sure what yet. Maybe I'll do Space Hulk Vengeance of the Blood Angels, because that's quite we haven't done anything quite like that either. But I'm going to finish now, so I'm going to wish you a good night, a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good evening, wherever you are in the world. This has been Lost Vikings 2 North by Northwest, and I do recommend it. It's definitely one, as I mentioned, it's not that widely available these days. The SNES port's not that common at all. It's probably easier to track down the 32-bit ports or the PC port, although the SNES port is Blizzard's original version. The Lost Vikings, the 32-bit versions, were all based and done by Beam Software and have the updated visual interface. Although I have to admit, it's not the greatest pre-rendered visuals. They're not bad, they have dated a bit, but the gameplay is still at its core very, very enjoyable. So we've done a bit of a tour through time. I think we've done about 7, 8, 9 stages. There are various different time periods where you get to eventually come up against the main villain again from the first game. I think there's actually 5 time periods. But yes, I will leave it there for now. Thanks for watching everyone, and I will finish the stream. Have a good night, and I'll see you all tomorrow.